We'll be finishing up with the last few bags now, considering the NB48 2.2 buggy is very close to completion, so on we go with our linkages and bag P. So bag P is all about linkages. Lots of small parts in this bag, so do take care when it comes to spilling and sorting the contents, and we'll start with a nice and easy steering linkage. Just like the camber links, this needs construction, although it's an easy enough task consisting of driving the link into both rod ends as equally as possible. Once done, pop a pivot ball into either end using the shock tool, after which we can attach the included servo horn using a single 16mm flathead screw, a shim, through the link, and secure with a flanged lock nut. This can then be attached to the buggy using a single 18mm shock mount screw in from under the bell crank where it keys into place, after which we can drop on a single washer, the free end of the steering linkage, and secure with a single flanged lock nut. Note that with the servo installed, the horn should be completely parallel to the bell crank, so rotate the link to lengthen or shorten as required. So steering link complete, and all that's left with this bag is the brake and throttle linkage, which carries a little more complexity and a whole host of small parts. So we'll start with our throttle linkage here. Using the shorter link, insert a plastic ball joint on one end, followed by a collar, held in place with a 3mm set screw, complete with thread lock, and the spring. This can now be connected to the brake and throttle servo horn. A plastic piece is provided, although I do recommend a metal at some point, but for now we'll go ahead and insert a bearing into the top and bottom of one end, followed by a bushing from the bottom, and then insert the neck of the pivot ball through so it holds in place. This should turn freely once installed. Finally, insert a collared spacer on the throttle linkage, through the hole in the horn just installed, another spacer, and a collar complete with thread-locked set screw. Throttle linkage done. Now onto brake linkages. Install two plastic pieces onto the opposite end of the servo horn and secure together with an 8mm button head screw. Once done, feed through the brake linkages. These are threaded one end, and I found it much easier to use a drill to get these into place, after which we can secure the ends with a collar and thread-locked set screw. At this point we need to refer to the next bag, bag Q, to retrieve some of the fuel tubing and cut two 10mm lengths, since we need to install these on the opposite ends. The servo horn would ordinarily connect to the servo now, of course, but as the servo will be installed later, we'll get the linkages in place for now, and secure the end by inserting a spacer, a piece of the tube we just cut, and a collar complete with set screw, before repeating on the second link. And that's pretty much it. Once connected to a servo, as the servo turns the horn, it will either provide throttle or push the pins to compress the discs and provide braking. Some adjustment will be needed once the servo is installed, of course, including trimming off the ends should they hit the body, but for now that's bag P and our linkage is complete. Time to move on to the final kit bags and finish up on our NB48 2.2 build.